Hello and thank you for coming to the McWaters Effect. I'm your host, Matt, and today I'm going to be talking about John Kerry and Israel. But first, I need you to hit like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow. Now let's get on with the show. Alright, now this episode's about John Kerry and whether or not he portrayed not only the United States, but Israel, and told Iran about Israel's attacks against Iran troops and Iran interest in Syria. Now here's the first article I have. It's from Fox News. Iran Foreign Minister claims John Kerry told him about Israel attacks in Syria. Calls for John Kerry to be investigated for what he told Iran. Here's an article from The Hill. Kerry faces calls to step down over leaked Iran tapes. Alright guys, I'm not one to believe what the media says or what a dictatorship like Iran says, but Iran has a lot to lose by the United States leaving the talks to get back into the Iran nuclear deal. So I believe they're telling the truth. And if this is the case, he did this while Donald Trump was president. This could put him in prison for doing that. And if he did do it, it's the dumbest freaking thing I ever heard in my life. And why would you do that? Why? See, the Democrats have been pushing the whole thing about trying to not be allies with Israel anymore and be allies with groups like Palestinians and as well as Iran, who are directly in conflict with Israel, instead of trying to create peace in the Middle East between the groups. I mean, I'm not saying that's all Democrats. I'm just saying the Democrats I've seen in the last 20 years, that's the case. I mean, most of the squad don't like Israel. They are against Israel. And really, when it comes to this administration, it seems like they have picked up a lot of the squad's foreign policy objectives. And one of them is being anti-Israel. All right, here's another article, and it's going more in depth of what's going on with the situation with John Kerry in Iran and in Israel. The former Secretary of State posted a denial on Twitter after Iran Foreign Minister claimed in a leaked audio recording that Kerry told him that Israel had launched more than 200 attacks on Iran forces in Syria. I can tell you that this story and these allegations are unequivocally false, he said on Monday. This never happened, either when I was Secretary of State or since. He was responding to a post about conservatives who accused him of sharing secrets while, according to former United States Ambassador Nikki Haley, stabbing Israel in the back. This certainly wasn't a secret, State Department defends John Kerry over Iran leak claims. The Biden administration asserted that even if Kerry did share the information, it wasn't a secret. This is purportedly leaked material. Can't speak to authenticity, can't speak to the accuracy of it, can't speak to the motives that may be behind its dissemination, State Department spokesman Ned Price told reporters on Monday. If you go back and look at press reports from the time, this certainly was not a secret. And governments that were involved were speaking to this publicly on record. A senior Israel official announced in September 2018 that his country struck targets in Syria 200 times over the past 2 years. Kerry previously admitted to meeting with Safari multiple times since leaving the United States State Department, for which he was criticized by the Trump administration. The former U.S. Senator and President candidate was instrumental in putting together the Obama administration nuclear deal with Iran and is now a climate envoy for the Biden administration. Alright guys, it really depends on when he told Iran about the Israeli attacks. If he told them after 2018, then he's in the clear. Because the fact is Israel already came out with that in newspapers and so on and so forth at that time. But if he told them before that, where Iran had no idea who was doing this, then we have problems. And number two I see a problem with is he's talking to Iran when he's not even part of the United States State Department. And during the Trump administration, I see a problem with that because they actually went after General Flynn for doing the same thing, talking to some of his counterparts before Trump was inaugurated. And they're trying to say, you can't do that. It's against the, can't remember which amendment it was, but it's considered sedition. And if he did that and talked to Iran before he was part of any administration, and the administration was put in place, as well as telling top secrets of what Israel was doing in Syria before Syria came out with the fact that they were doing that in 2018. He could go to prison for that. That's if they even investigate it, which I'd say, in my opinion, since the Democrats are running the House, they're not, because the House is the one that would be investigating it. They're not going to investigate this. This can be pulled under the rug. Nothing's going to happen with it. Now, I'm not saying he did it because I don't know. It needs to be investigated. But I do not see them doing it. It won't be investigated unless the Republicans win the House in 2022. And at that point in time, might be too late to do anything. Alright guys, you know what really annoys the hell out of me about this whole thing? Is how Democrats has rules for thee and not for me. It's bullshit. You know, Heinz Ketchup Man here is going to go around the world on a freaking private jet, put a whole bunch of carbon in the air, and then try to tell people how they should be running their country and how they could reduce carbon. Fuck you, man. Take your lurch ass back home, go sit in that freaking big ass house of yours, and fuck off. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how Democrats feel like they go around and tell everybody on how to run their country. You know, you shouldn't be using oil products. You shouldn't be using fossil fuels. Blah, blah, blah. Motherfucker, how's that plane run? How's your house fucking run on electricity? Fossil fuels, dumbass. That's how it happens. It just irritates the piss out of me. We allow these people dictate how we're going to run our lives and how they're going to actually go around the whole world, tell people that they are bad for using fossil fuels, when he uses more fossil fuels than probably 3 or 4 of these countries do on a daily basis just to go from one place to another. It's ridiculous. I don't even want to hear that shit anymore. These are the people we elect into office all the time. I don't know what the hell we're thinking. Alright guys, we're at the point of the video where I do the quote of the day. You may have the right to live any way you like, but you don't have the right to have the other people like it, or respect it, or pay for it. Quote by Thomas Sowell. Alright guys, this is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed. Please hit like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow. Peace.